Hello, boys and girls. It's Cooberry time. Annika slipped Devlin's wand back inside her robes. JJ was at once relieved to know where the wand was, and dismayed to know it was out of reach. How would he ever get it from Annika's pocket?
I know. I must have remembered the spell wrong. Simon, where is my spell book?
Simon headed toward the stacks of books, but Annika brushed past him.
I'll do that.
JJ trembled violently as Annika waved her hand in front of the stacks of books. The worst was happening. Before his eyes, the stack that was hiding him from view was moved to one side, and Annika stood staring directly at him. What happened next was beyond JJ's comprehension.
I will find that dog, Annika muttered,
and started flipping through a book while standing immediately in front of JJ. For whatever reason, she hadn't noticed him at all. JJ was baffled, but decided to inch carefully along the wall of the lair until he was out of her grasp. He watched Simon, and the serpent didn't seem to notice him either. JJ kept his hand on the amulet and kept inching. Past a smudged mirror on the wall and almost couldn't look at his own terrified face. When he did look, he saw nothing. There was no reflection of JJ in the mirror. It was as if he wasn't standing right there in the middle of an evil witch's lair. JJ fingered the amulet again and realized the amulet. It must have made him invisible. JJ was considering how to use his newly discovered invisibility to his advantage when he saw a clearly visible Bernie peeking around the doorway of the cave. JJ motioned wildly, trying to keep Bernie out of the lair. Whatever was going to happen, JJ would handle it himself. Devlin had picked him, and he didn't want anything to happen to Bernie. But of course, Bernie couldn't see JJ either. Annika had her back to Bernie as she flipped through the spellbook. Nearby, Simon was hovering near Annika, waiting to do her bidding. He did not see Bernie either. JJ wished with all his might that Bernie would stay outside the lair, but wishing was not enough. For JJ watched in dismay as Bernie stepped into the cave with his wand drawn and ducked behind a table. For all the courage and skill Bernie had shown so far, JJ had no idea how well he would fare when matched against a witch of Annika's skill. JJ had to make his move before Bernie did anything rash. They had come for Devlin's wand, and they would get Devlin's wand. At least he knew by now that it was somewhere inside the folds of Annika's robes. It hardly seemed likely that she would take it out and leave it somewhere easy to grab. No, if JJ wanted that wand, he'd have to quite literally take it from her. He knew he had a tremendous advantage with the invisibility bestowed by the amulet, but he felt anything but secure as he stepped away from the wall and headed towards Annika. He wished there was a way he could signal to Bernie that he was about to make a move, but everyone in the lair would hear any sound he made. He could not betray his location. JJ had to use the element of surprise against Annika and trust that Bernie was at the ready, no matter what happened. JJ crept closer to Annika. She was closely examining the book, muttering under her breath. Simon lay at attention right next to her, awaiting her next command. When JJ stood close enough to touch Annika, he drew a deep breath for strength and courage, hoping it wasn't so deep it would call attention to his presence. Mustering as much courage as he could ever hope to possess, JJ stretched his right arm forward and reached into the folds of Annika's robe. He reached carefully, trying to pluck the wand from where he knew she had it stashed. That's all for today. I'll see you next time.